Yeah, I'm in Caulfield. Good morning, Aidan. Thanks for having me on this morning. Yeah, I'm in Caulfield, and I'm used to getting up in the morning and having a chat to you guys with a lovely blue sky here in Melbourne. It's been like that most of the week. I've had a chat with you, but not today. It's dark, overcast, and has been raining for the best part of an hour and a half while I've been sitting here at my desk working. So I'm about a 10-minute walk from the racetrack. So that doesn't bode well. Caulfield drains well enough that I dare say we'd have been on a good track had they not verdi-drained the course, which they did do leading into this meeting, which I think just makes it play on the softer side. So it looks as though at this stage we're probably going to be racing on a genuine soft 5. Whether the track's genuinely rain affected will depend on how much rain we get during the meeting. I think the showers are supposed to stop this morning. If it has that chance to sink in, I think it'll just end up being a track with some good give and not a genuine wet track. Then if we get showers during the meeting, that's when it could become interesting. But we're not scheduled to get that, so I think we're going to be racing on a track with plenty of give. So those horses that like a bit of give are going to be well suited today.
Yeah, we think back to John Snow's Australian Derby and the conditions that day at Randwick. So obviously that's why Andrew Forsman was so happy. How have you assessed this year's Caulfield Cup, Ben?
Very strong field. I'm looking forward to it. It's a tricky betting race. Obviously, there's about 12 to 14 different form lines going into the race, so probably doesn't make it the easiest race to try and find the winner, but it looks a stellar edition. There's a lot of class coming to the race from right around the world. There's a few good local chances, but if there's something that keeps being reinforced to me time and time again, it's that the European stayers are probably a class above the locals, and for that reason I thought perhaps the horse to go with this year was the Cliffs of Moher, who was terrific last start in the Caulfield Stakes. He got back to last and made a huge run in some pretty impressive closing sectionals. I'm thinking he might be the one on the quick backup. He reminds me a little of Johannes Vermeer last year, who did the same thing, ran a huge race in a Caulfield Stakes leading into the Caulfield Cup. He was a little unlucky not to beat Boom Time last year. And I think he's a better version of Johannes Vermeer. He'll need to be a better version. I think it's a much stronger Caulfield Cup. But if Huey Bowman can just get him out of the gates, put him in a nice spot from that barrier, I think the Cliffs of Moher can run a really big race here, even with the 56.5 kilos. Okay,
who do you think is his main danger?
Well, I think the main dangers lie in the two obvious in Kingsville Dream and also Youngstar. They're both terrific in Turnbull Stakes last start. Every time you doubt horses that run second to Winx, you end up looking a little silly because they invariably come out and win a good race at their next start. So they ran second and third. Kingsville Dream probably wasn't in the best part of the track in the Turnbull Stakes last start at Flemington. Youngstar was really good. They can both win without surprising from good draws. I think the value in the race, though, might be Red Verdon. He's prepared by a stable that we know pretty well with Red Cadeau, Ed Dunlop. He's travelled horses to Australia with success in the past. Not only Red Cadeau, he brought Trip to Paris here to run second in a Caulfield Cup a couple of years ago. And Red Verdon's a horse who he ran really well at 2,400 metres in a Hardwick Stakes at Royal Ascot earlier this year, where he actually beat home the Cliffs of Moher. So at around $20, I think it's worth having something each way on Red Verdon.
I understand that was Red Verdon the subject of a vet's examination yesterday. Something about him having dermatitis. Had you caught up on that?
He was found to have, I think, a degenerative, if I can spit that out, that dermatitis, but supposedly isn't going to affect the way he races. He was passed clear, and there's been money for him this morning. So I'm just going to back the stable in that they've got him fit and well. And that, I think if that's the case, then he certainly looks over the odds at the price.
Okay, let's have a look at the Ethereal Stakes, and really is a key lead up into the Oaks as well. And we've got a Kiwi here who's, well, I guess you're going to claim this a Melbourne horse, Ben, but very elegant. She did all her racing here. She was luckless last time out. How have you assessed her in the Ethereal?
I think she's one of the better bets on the program. You look at her run in the Edward Manifold, she just couldn't get clear and build her momentum when she needed to. She only got clear at the 100. She was very strong late. I loved watching her replays in New Zealand. I think she's Pretty smart. I thought she'd go close to winning at her first run. I think with clear galloping room, she may well have tested Amphitrite, may well have beaten her. Amphitrite, of course, won 1,000 guineas. The way Darren Weir prepares his gallopers, I think she'll have improvement to come out of that last run. She just needs clear running, and I think she's going to take a power of beating in the Ethereal Stakes today.
Okay, yeah. Who's the danger to her in your mind, Ben?
Oh, I think the obvious is Graceful Glamour for Gay Waterhouse. She'll be making her own luck on the speed. She won pretty impressively over 1,800 at Flemington in the Oaks trial last start. So likely, Very Elegant's likely going to need a bit of luck from the draw. She's probably going to be a little bit behind a Graceful Glamour in the run. And for that reason, that Graceful Glamour can make her own luck, I think she's probably the horse to beat. But I think with clear galloping room, Very Elegant will take a lot of beating.
Okay, from the New Zealand Bloodstock Ethereal Stakes, what have you sort of picked out for us as your bet?
Outside of Very Elegant, I'm pretty keen on. I do like in the Lingy Stakes a horse at double figure odds in Jorda. She's around the $10 mark at the moment. I think on an each way basis she can is worth having something on. She was really good second up from a spell at Caulfield. Didn't have a lot of luck. I think third up, she can run really well in the Lingy Stakes and represents a bit of value. That's race 4, number 1. I'm also pretty keen on the chances on a couple of favourites later in the day. An Extra Brute in the Ladbrokes Classic, race 6, number 3. He's a horse who he showed he can sprint quickly off a slow speed at both Sandown and also Caulfield, but he then showed he could maintain that turn of foot off a fast speed last time at Flemington, which basically makes him a pretty bomb-proof horse. I think he'll take a sit-in behind the speed and be really hard to beat. And pretty keen in the 7th race on the program on the favourite Best of Days, race 7, number 7. James McDonald takes the ride. I think he'll take a sit just in behind the speed, similarly to Extra Brute, and be really hard to beat off a good run behind Furion last start. So I'm thinking the favourites, Very Elegant, Extra Brute and Best of Days, are going to be hard to beat in races 5, 6 and 7, and like Jorda at a bit of value on an each-way basis in race number 4, the Lingy Stakes.
Good on you, Ben. Really appreciate you joining us here on TAB Trackside and the Punters Lounge Live. Good luck for your day, and good luck to punters who are betting Caulfield Cup Day this afternoon in Melbourne.